Marjorie Taylor Greene's been on a tear, expressing a great deal of displeasure and anger about things that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans have done recently. She is pissed that Donald Trump entered into a minerals deal with Ukraine. Notice that this minerals deal was being talked about before all of the time, but now nobody's talking about this minerals deal at all. It's because President Zelensky of Ukraine totally outmaneuvered Donald Trump, and the things that Donald Trump was trying to shake down Zelensky with, ultimately Donald Trump didn't get, and Zelensky worked out a great deal for Zelensky and frankly for the free world. But you notice that MAGA's not talking about that. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene's pissed about that. She's pissed at the other MAGA Republicans in the House, and there's a civil war brewing within the MAGA Republican ranks. Let me just show you what's going on here, and then I want to also talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene's market manipulation and what her stock trades are showing, in my opinion. Here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene just posted. We don't want the rare earth minerals in Ukraine that will bind America to never-ending spending and military defense. We have plenty of our own rare earth minerals we can mine right here at home, creating American jobs and wealth. But the federal government needs to allow it. I'm not sure she really has an understanding of anything, yet alone the way rare earth minerals work. Also, it's probably not a good idea to attack Canada and Donald Trump continuing to use war language against Canada when there is a huge amount of rare earth minerals in Canada. Also, we should reflect upon the fact that Canada has placed a total embargo on rare earth minerals in its possession reaching the United States, which is critical for components in most of our electronics. That's not getting a lot of attention except here on the MeidasTouch network. Marjorie Taylor Greene then posts the following. I represent the base. And when I'm frustrated and upset over the direction of things, you better be clear. The base is not happy. I campaigned for no more foreign wars. And now we're supposedly on the verge of going to war with Iran. I don't think we should be bombing foreign countries on behalf of other foreign countries, especially when they have their own nuclear weapons and massive military strength. And on top of that, now we're told that we have signed a deal for mineral rights in Ukraine in order to pay us back for the hundreds of billions of dollars that we gave Ukraine and they used for money laundering, sold the weapons we gave them to our enemies, and their leader is a dictator who canceled elections, was involved of the first impeachment of Trump, and campaigned for Biden. Pause. Even when I'm sharing with you Marjorie Taylor Greene turning against the GOP and attacking the GOP and without saying Trump's name, also attacking Trump, I got to fact check her because all of these things are absolutely false. The money's not being used for money laundering. It's been used to defend Ukraine, which stands as a bulwark on the front lines of protecting the free world from Russia invading other areas in Eastern Europe and then taking Europe. Ukraine has bravely defended itself and by proxy has defended the entire free world. They're not selling weapons to our enemies unless Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that our enemies include NATO. President Zelensky is not a dictator. Vladimir Putin and your dear leader, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, is. And then she goes on to whine even more. She goes, didn't we learn our lesson when we went to war in Iraq and killed Saddam Hussein because of weapons of mass destruction? Did we ever find any? And did any of that oil over in the Middle East make us rich? The answer is no. We are $36 trillion in debt today. Pause. Donald Trump contributed to 25% of that, Marjorie. You and the MAGAs are responsible for most of that debt, but I'll go on. So why on earth would we go over and occupy Ukraine and spend an untold amount of future taxpayer dollars defending and mining their minerals, as well as potentially putting American lives at risk at war? Why don't we just mine our own rare earth minerals that are tied up on federal lands that the government confiscated years ago? I also campaigned on accountability for the communist and tyrannical acts made by the government during COVID. Yet the COVID vaccine still has FDA approval, even though there were millions reported injuries and deaths, and this mRNA vaccine is known to have horrific side effects and does not stop people from catching COVID. Let's pause there for a second again. Even though this video is showing you Marjorie Taylor Greene attacking other MAGA Republicans, I have to fact check it. The COVID vaccine is effective. We've seen that in cohorts where the vaccine's been used versus cohorts where it hasn't been used. It has massively, massively helped people. And in unvaccinated communities, the rate of deaths and serious issues is at multiples of multiples of multiples. The vaccine does work. She goes on to talk about how she wants to revoke the FDA's approval. They spread all of these lies about the vaccine over and over again. And here we are, May 5th, and she's still doing the same thing, whining about this stuff. Then she goes on, I also campaign on accountability of the lawfare that was waged against the American people the past 4 years. What about all the people that were locked up in jail and the abuse they went through? And when are those vicious attorneys and judges ever going to be held accountable for the lives they ruin? Pause there. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you were out there calling the despicable and disgusting human beings who invaded the Capitol, the insurrectionists, the Oath Keepers, and the Proud Boys. I know you call them heroes, but Donald Trump released them and he pardoned them or commuted their sentences. They're out. These dangerous, horrific humans are out there running free, but that's not enough. You want to throw in jail the Trump-appointed judges and the Reagan-appointed judges? And don't get me wrong, there are Biden-appointed judges and Obama-appointed judges. There's George W. Bush-appointed judges. A lot of those judges in D.C. who warned Donald Trump not to pardon the January 6th terrorists who were involved in some of the most horrific acts, the violent offenders, were Trump-appointed judges. But go on. Then she goes, and I campaign for an end to waste, fraud, and abuse of the American people's harder tax dollars. You may want to spell check this, Marjorie, but okay. I believe the Doge mission is one of the most important things happening today in our government. And yet, where are the rescissions that we should be voting on in Congress? You lead the Doge Committee, Marjorie. You head it. Maybe you put Elon Musk, your other dear leader, on the committee and ask questions. I've never heard of somebody ever leading an initiative in our government who's too afraid to go before Congress and answer questions. But Elon Musk is being protected? Oh, I thought you said he's so smart. Let him testify. Then she goes on and says, and one of the biggest issues in the nation that I fought for, and early on I was one of the only ones that took a loud screaming stand against, is the evil transgender assault against our children. She says she's got to be transphobic and punch down to marginalized communities. Then she goes, most normal people in this country can't even, again, could you just, how rude of an individual this is, calling most normal people. You think you're a normal person, Marjorie Taylor Greene? And what is your inclination and people of your ilk that just want to bully marginalized communities and beat people who are already having to deal with a lot on their own? But, you're a bully. You're a classic bully. Your daddy started a real estate company. You're living off the money of daddy, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Your ex-husband, who you then went on and really the family values party. Didn't you do that? Weren't you out there with the yoga instructor and then the other guy? But your ex-husband was the guy who was running daddy's company for you. And so you got to go out there, spread your QAnon conspiracy theories, run for Congress, the ultimate definition of privilege. And there you are punching down on communities. You really are a despicable human being. Then she goes, and look at the extreme nature of our rogue judicial system is so defiant that they're a judge that defy our nation's laws and block the deportations of literal enemies of the United States of America. What are you even talking about? The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that an individual with zero criminal history who the first Trump administration gave a work permit to, who worked in a union, who has an American wife and 3 American kids. You just believe these people should be sent to concentration camps with no due process at all? I know you don't know what the Constitution is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you prefer to live in a kind of fascist country where you have a dear leader doing whatever extermination campaigns that y'all think is the right thing to do while obliterating equality, obliterating the Constitution, and screwing over. Is that what you are looking for here? And she goes, when you are losing MTG, they speak about themselves, like that. Like if you are losing Ben, if you are losing MTG, you are losing the base. And Trump isn't on the ballot in the future. So do the math on that. I'm not going to show you the other ones, but it's post after post after post after post from her. But hey, Marjorie, didn't you say to release the Epstein files? Here, play this clip.
I support all the lists being released. I want to see Epstein's list. I want to see the list of the sexual misconduct slush fund.
Okay, so release them.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas. Wild Grain's boxes are fully customizable to your taste and dietary restrictions, in addition to their classic variety box. They recently launched a new gluten-free box and a plant-based box that is 100% vegan. Best of all, they take the hassle out of baking, since all items bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less with no mess or cleanup. Now, my personal experience with Wild Grain has been incredible. I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's super convenient and all the products are high quality and super fresh. I cannot say enough good things about Wild Grain, and I know that you're going to love them as much as I do. Are you ready to bring all your favorite carbs right to your doorstep? Be sure to check out Wild Grain so you can begin building your own box for artisanal breads, pastas, and pastries. For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off the first box, plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/Meidas to start your subscription.
Oh, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's take a look at your trading history from Benzinga right here. Look at all the trades you did right before and after Donald Trump's tariffs against the world. And didn't you buy Palantir, which was about to do a contract with the Department of Homeland Security, and you're on the Department of Homeland Security Committee? Did you know about the AI Palantir contract? Because you've seen, while Americans are suffering, you seem to be buying the dip and picking all the stocks that are making a lot of money, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here, play this clip of Benzinga. Play this clip.
It's always popular when Marjorie Taylor Greene makes an appearance. Let's take a look at her latest trades in the stock market. All right, we're going to make this easy. All of these were in April. All of these were purchases, and all of these were somewhere between $1,000 and $15,000. We've got Southern Copper, Qualcomm, Palantir, Nike, Lululemon, JP Morgan, FedEx, Blackstone, Amazon, AMD, more Palantir, Nvidia, Merck, Devon Energy, Cummins, ASML, Applied Materials, Apple, AMD, and Adobe. Go ahead and let us know who you want to see next.
And just take a look at this unusual trading activity right here. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought Palantir on April 8th. On April 17th, a $30 million deal between Palantir and ICE was announced. Greene sits on the House Committee on Homeland Security. That stock has now risen 48%, then 43% right there. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene also bought what else did she buy here? Dollar General right before it went up. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought RH. Restoration Hardware went up 18% since that. I'll just leave you all with this right here. Someone who Marjorie Taylor Greene is incredibly jealous of, AOC. Here's what AOC has to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene buying the dip. Let's play it.
And we saw it just happen with Trump's corrupt and disastrous and rushed tariff scheme. We saw Marjorie Taylor Greene buy that dip. I got one question for her. How much did you make? How much did you make off of people's despair? How much did you make off that panic? How much did you make off of that suffering? No more. We can't accept it. I hope we see now that it was all about manipulating the markets so that he could quietly enrich his friends who bought the dip before reversing it all in the morning. To be clear, I don't care what party you are, Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter how powerful one is or the position that one holds. Members of Congress holding and trading individual stock is wrong. It is corrosive, it is destructive, and it needs to be banned.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene attacking Trump, attacking the GOP. You see her right there, doing it right there. You tell me what you think about that. What a mess these MAGAs are. What a freaking mess these people are. Shameful, shameful humans. Vile, vile. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.